Okay, so now Scott wants to tell you a little bit more about his rehab journey from his own words rather than their father's. So, yeah. So please welcome Scott.
Thanks for having me today. As you have seen, I've had a pretty rough time this past 22 months. But it hasn't just been me. But it hasn't just been me. Brain injury involves everyone close to you in your life. My partner, Raylene, has been as involved in my rehab as I have. For a long time, I was unable to walk. I barely spoke a word. I had no initiative to do anything. That was part of the brain injury. I had very severe post-traumatic amnesia. I couldn't even tell whether it was morning, afternoon, or evening. I couldn't retain any short-term memories at all. I was in a really bad way. 18 months ago, I was relearning how to walk and talk again. I was able to walk with a belt on and one person assisting me. As soon as I began to get my initiative back, I was unstoppable. My rehab team were fantastic, but Ray and I did so much extra work. She knew I would get better if we put in the time and effort. This time last year, I was about to be discharged from rehab after 10 months of becoming me again. To this day, I have a pretty impressive schedule. Apparently, my recovery is a bit of a miracle. I just don't think my medical team realised how tough, resilient and determined I am. When I was told I couldn't do something, I would work extra hard to prove people wrong. This happened a lot. In rehab, I had speech therapy once a week. I didn't think I needed it because I've been talking since I was a child. I wasn't aware that my speech was as bad as it was. I had dysarthria, which means my muscles don't work as quickly and easily as they did before because they are too tight and weak. I was hard to understand sometimes because my speech sounded mumbled. I went to speech sessions because I had to, but I didn't like it. I felt undermined because I did not think my speech sounded bad. It wasn't until Vanessa started with me and who recorded me and made me my own judge. I became the expert on me again. Realised that my speech wasn't up to scratch. Since being at home, I've been more motivated to get fully back to the way I spoke before. My speech sessions involve memory sessions, practice speaking slowly and clearly, voice sessions for better resonance, and to get my muscles working like they used to. I need a clear speech to get back to my work as a stunt coordinator, and I'm getting there. At times I feel like hopes and dreams have been shattered because of one careless moment in time. But now I have new hopes and dreams. I set myself high goals and set out to achieve them. My life now is not the life I had planned, but my life will be fantastic because I want it to be. So to end with, I would like to leave you with some advice, if you allow me. Make a friend of your client. Give trust so you get trust. A mutual respect is important. Don't be in a rush to judge it. Make your sessions fun and relevant. Do what the clients want to speak about. It's not about you, it's about them. In my sessions, we talk about investing and movies because I am interested in both of those. Explain why you're asking them to do various things. give your clients feedback and percentages, feedback on how they are doing. Not just you're doing well, because the client might ask how well. Thank you.
So much to take in a short period of time. Great speech. Very good. But I'm sure there's a lot of questions within this massive bunch of people that have just heard your story. Perhaps had some of you seen that story on 60 Minutes? Yep. Wow, so you're having a brush with fame. How long ago was the story on 60 Minutes?
I don't know exactly.
About 6 months.
Yeah. I'm terrible with the months.
So perhaps we'll open up to some questions for the next 5 minutes or so.
Any questions? Yes.
I just want to know the actual nature of the injuries, so T-bone and which parts that are injured and happened.
Frontal left lobe was the most, it was the one damaged as most. I was pretty much a mess in there.
The most recent scan that you had
Yeah.
shows pretty much a blacking out of both sides, both frontal lobes. So you are a bit of a miracle man. Yeah.
Actually, last night on 60 Minutes, there was another story about speech, and one of the things that I was shocked by was that Pete Reynolds' friends went to volleyball clinic.
I saw that one as well.
Okay, and I wondered what your experience, you seem to have had this before, I wondered what your experience was of other people and how they judge you.
I have lots of friends. I live in Coogee, where everyone sort of knows it. I have no problem with people judging me.
In fact, you are quite unique in that respect though. There's a friend up the back there. You know, you've actually had a lot of your friends
Yes.
really support
Rally
you.
around me.
Yeah. So it's, from my perspective, that's really quite a unique thing to see.
Yeah. I'm very lucky in that way.
Wow.
Lucky in the accident, or as I call it, you know what I call it.
I know what you call it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to know what sort of memory, how are you working on your memory? You said the long-term memories of your time.
My long-term memories are there.
Right,
I've forgotten nothing I knew since I was a child.
right.
Even riding a horse and riding a bike.
Yeah.
I've done both of those.
But the short-term ones, is that harder?
It takes more work to remember. But Vanessa's given me tricks.
What sort of tricks did you use?
If meeting new people, think of someone who has the same name as them.
Right.
When you see,
Actually, I didn't teach you that trick, so. So some of the things that we've not more focused on at a higher level really is with the reading and
Yep.
what sort of things have we been doing with your memory with reading.
underline key phrases for encoding.
Encoding, yeah. So, yeah, underlining keywords and key phrases and then rereading, and that was quite a profound moment in therapy, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was.
Because Scott initially would sit down to read the paper very happy, you know, it's our habit. He'd sit down and read the paper and I'd say immediately after, what did you just read about? And
Oh, good.
And so we tried to work out, you know, we looked at where was the process breaking down. Was it with actual retrieval or was it actually getting the information in the first place? And it was more the getting the information in. So we've worked out how to compensate for that. And now you actually enjoy reading the paper.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yes.
Firstly, congratulations. You speak clearer than some of our lecturers do. But from a speech pathology perspective, what would you say, like, what not to do, what not to do from
speech said it all. Make a friend of your client.
Yeah.
Don't speak about what you want to speak about. Speak what they want to speak about. It's not about you, it's about them.
I'm just very interested in how much practice you needed every day and what that practice consisted of to improve your speech, and whether that's tapered off a little bit now or whether you.
I won't let it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to continually work on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
How
Got to
often,
think about it.
how often are you working on your speech?
With you.
Yeah, with me? How,
4 times a week with Vanessa.
and then
Every
every
day.
day.
Every time I open my mouth, I think of it. Yes.
First off, thanks for coming to talk to us. It's really, really valuable for us to hear a personal experience. We've got so much theory coming at us all the time. It's really nice to learn about your experience. I think one question that I have is about your experience in a rehab hospital. So you're a young man who suffered a terrible accident and spent a long time in a rehab hospital. I guess, were you in the company of people your own, were there any people your own age, or was it mostly you and older people? And sort of how did you find being in a hospital?
In my room, there was one other guy, Steve, who was a bit older than me. And I moved into New Haven very, very soon after. And there was younger than me, all suffered from car accidents. So put your seatbelts on.
So I think, yeah, so that's a really good question because there's only 3 inpatient rehabilitation units across New South Wales and for traumatic brain injury. So until about 1996, we didn't have a specific brain injury program. So everyone was lumped in together and we recognised that, I said we, I wasn't part of it all, but it was recognised that traumatic brain injury is actually quite different to other acquired brain injuries like strokes. And so within the brain injury units, you tend to have probably the average age is about 28. Yeah. So it tends to be younger people.
Yeah.
You weren't the old fart in the room, I expect, but it tends to be a younger group who drink. And one of your friends, maybe talk about the guy that you made friends with that you visited a couple of times.
Ben.
Yeah.
He was involved in a head-on collision. So the 2 kids were playing chicken, but he wasn't playing chicken. He was the victim of that chicken race. I don't know what else to say
No.
there.
Well, and how old is he though? He was
18, 19, 20. Not exactly sure.
yeah.
But he was in New Haven. That was when I met him. Which was part of the Pride Rehabilitation Centre where you got back to living. You made your own meals. Yeah. Yes.
I just wanted to know, you mentioned that Vanessa made therapy about you and your interests. Was that what your experience was?
No. Yeah. That's the trick. Yeah.
I think I have to say, in my defence, I also got Scott at a later time in rehab. So, you know, you were kind of,
Basis stuff.
yeah, your memory was operating better by the time I started working with you too. So, and I think you sort of started to see, there was a bit of argy-bargy in the beginning, wasn't there? With, well, what would you like to work on and what really is important? So, not argy-bargy, but it was a bit of a learning experience initially.
So,
Yeah, to make sure we were targeting the right things.
Yep.
Yeah.
You said at first that you weren't enjoying speech pathology and didn't see the need for it.
Because I didn't think I sounded bad.
But when you saw the video, could you tell that your speech was worse than what you thought?
It was more when I heard Vanessa's recording me. So record your students and play it back to them so they can be their own judge.
I've actually got a friend who suffered traumatic brain injury 2 years ago,
Wow.
and he's sort of similar story in the fact that he sort of doesn't realise, and even now his speech is quite like bad with the monotone because he has spastic dysarthria. And he doesn't see the and he's actually quite dismotivated, like falling into a bit of depression, like per se at the moment. What was your biggest motivating things, and what would your piece of advice be for motivating patients in that situation?
To record them.
Yeah.
So iPhones have recording capability. Make him his own judge.
And even just, because he just even for now, like doesn't seem, he just sort of into the perspective that he was normal before and he hasn't got that motivation to even improve. And you did say that you had a lot of initiative and once you get going, what did it take for you to get to that point to realise?
Hearing how bad I was.
Just even despite your speech, like even just overall with your movement?
Yes.
So when because you talked about that, you know, your dark days and that you really didn't have initiative, didn't want to participate. And what is it, I think, is the question, what was the turning point for you generally in rehab that helped you think, no, I've got to just keep getting better and...
Really, my partner was.
Yeah.
I think it was my partner.
Okay.
Getting back to being me with my partner.
Yeah. She was the force.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, is still the force. Hi, Ray. Yeah. Perhaps you can tell everyone what's Ray doing at the moment.
Mad Max 4 in South Africa. She's a stunt girl too. Well, not too, I'm a stunt girl.